I have gotten robbed, so I try to get myself and get out of here. They were sleeping on a mattress on the sidewalk.
You know, out getting robbed. You know, people will take advantage of you. You know.
As soon as I wake up, and if I don't have anything, I'm already shaking.
Addiction just kind of leads you down here. It's not dope. It's fentanyl and shrink mixed together. I can't spend all my money on this shit. It's just gonna kill me, you know.
A bitterness throughout my misery of losing my brother at a very young age.
You know, it's a CNS depressant. It's a central nervous system depressant, and it increases your heart rate.
In 2024, over 71,580 souls across the United States slept without shelter each night, an 18% rise from the year before, says the National Alliance to End Homelessness State of Homelessness, 2025 edition. But these aren't statistics. They are human stories of courage, loss, and the will to survive. This is not just homelessness. This is the heartbeat of America, crying out for compassion before it fades into the dark. What shadows lurk in this crisis, where substance dependencies ravage the unhoused at 5%, reporting regular illicit use, fueling cycles of despair. Shockingly, in a $28 trillion economy, addiction drives 2/3 of lifetime homelessness cases, turning streets into battlegrounds of struggle and loss. How long before this undercurrent erupts, demanding we confront the nightmare? Los Angeles, Venice Beach, California. Venice Beach looks like a postcard from the outside. Sunshine, waves, music, and crowds drifting along the boardwalk. But only a few steps away, the illusion disappears. Long rows of tents line the sidewalks, their tarps shaking in the ocean wind. The smell of damp clothes, old food, and sheer exhaustion reminds you that life here is held together by threads. Behind every torn canvas wall is someone fighting a battle most people never notice. People come to Venice because the weather is forgiving, but survival is not. Nights drop cold enough to numb hands and feet. Days burn hot enough to make every breath feel heavy. Many sleep lightly, afraid of losing the only belongings they have left. And hovering over all of it is the quiet but deadly presence of fentanyl. Los Angeles County now records more than 2,000 fentanyl-linked deaths each year, and Venice is one of the places where this danger feels constant. The desperation grows when you look at housing. Rents above $3,000 a month make even the idea of stability feel unreachable. Outreach teams work tirelessly, but the demand outweighs every available bed, every treatment slot, every promise of help. Most people here want a way out. They just don't always get the chance. If these stories matter to you, I invite you to subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories. Your support helps us continue uncovering the realities hidden behind the tourist images and bringing attention to the people the world forgets. Together, we can push for understanding, empathy, and meaningful change. Kensington, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kensington, Philadelphia is a place where the human cost of homelessness unfolds in ways that are impossible to ignore. Along Kensington Avenue, people curl beneath thin blankets, leaning against cold brick walls while the elevated train rattles overhead. The sidewalks are scattered with torn clothes, damp bedding, and discarded belongings, evidence of lives held together by fragile threads. There is a heavy stillness in the air, as though the entire neighborhood has absorbed years of exhaustion and heartbreak. Fentanyl's shadow stretches across every block. Nearly every substance circulating through Kensington is contaminated, making survival feel like a daily battle. Overdose calls come so frequently that the sound of sirens blends into the rhythm of the streets. Outreach workers carrying Narcan sprint from person to person, hoping to reach someone before it's too late. Poverty rates above 30%, and long delays for treatment deepen the crisis, trapping people in a cycle where even those fighting to recover face barriers at every turn. Yet, within all this darkness, small sparks of kindness still shine. Neighbors offer warm meals. Volunteers sweep sidewalks to reduce infections. Churches open their doors at night to keep people safe from the cold. These gestures don't erase the suffering, but they remind us that humanity hasn't disappeared. It's simply fighting to be seen. Kensington forces us to confront a difficult truth. Homelessness is not a statistic. It's a collection of human stories lived out in real time. And it leaves us with one urgent question. What do you believe America must do first to help communities like Kensington break free from this cycle? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to US Homeless Stories to follow the real experiences unfolding across America's forgotten streets. Tenderloin, San Francisco, California. The Tenderloin is a place where San Francisco's promises crack wide open. Here, the city's shine fades block by block, replaced by faces carrying exhaustion, fear, and a kind of loneliness that settles deep into the skin. You can walk just a few minutes from high-rise offices filled with success stories and suddenly enter a neighborhood where people fight every hour simply to stay alive. The Tenderloin is not just a district, it is a snapshot of what happens when a city grows faster than the people who need help the most. In early 2025, around 165 tents crowded the sidewalks. That number was down from over 220 earlier in the year, but not because lives were improved, only moved. When enforcement clears the streets, people scatter into alleys, doorways, and narrow corners where the cold settles hard. What disappears from sight never disappears from reality. Fentanyl's shadow hangs heavy here. You see people swaying, struggling to stay conscious, clinging to moments of escape because the pain of life on the street is relentless. Overdose calls flood emergency workers. Families lose loved ones without ever getting a final word. Police logs show small thefts and conflicts rising, not from malice, but from survival instincts sharpened by hunger, desperation, and trauma. Housing feels like a distant dream. With rents above $3,500 a month, even people working full-time cannot catch up. Shelters offer roughly 200 beds, far fewer than the need. Outreach workers hand out meals, clean supplies, and hope, but every night the line grows longer. Still, in this painful landscape, you see moments of resilience. Strangers sharing food, volunteers stopping to talk, someone offering a blanket to a person they met only that morning. If these stories matter to you, if you want to follow the real human struggles behind US Homeless Stories, please consider subscribing. Your support helps these voices be heard.
You okay? You're not okay, are you?
Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas may look like a city of endless excitement, but step away from the Strip, and the truth hits hard. Behind the glowing casinos and luxury hotels, thousands of people try to survive in places most tourists will never see. Storm tunnels, vacant lots, and narrow stretches beneath busy overpasses. Many once had steady jobs. Some came chasing a better life. Others simply had nowhere left to go. Now they face each day with the weight of uncertainty pressing on their shoulders. The summer heat is relentless, often climbing above 110 degrees and turning concrete into burning metal. Water becomes precious. Shade becomes safety. Nights aren't much easier. People sleep lightly, always alert for danger, always prepared to move if another sweep pushes them away. Survival here isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, exhausting, and constant. Fentanyl casts a long shadow across this hidden part of Las Vegas. It's cheap, dangerously powerful, and painfully easy to find. Many turn to it not out of desire, but out of desperation, to forget the fear, the heat, the hunger, even for a moment. Overdoses have become a tragic routine, and first responders return to the same faces again and again. Nearby businesses feel the strain, yet don't know how to stop the suffering unfolding steps from their doors. Still, small sparks of hope appear. Outreach teams crawl into tunnels with water and compassion. Mobile clinics offer medical care and dignity. A simple conversation can remind someone they still matter. If you walked through the hidden side of Las Vegas, how would it change the way you see the city? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to US Homeless Stories to follow the real stories America tries to ignore. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is one of America's most punishing places to experience homelessness, not only because of the rising numbers, but because the desert heat shows no mercy. In 2025, more than 9,700 people in Maricopa County had no stable place to stay, and the moment the sun rises, the struggle begins. Temperatures pushing 110 degrees weather turn tarps and tents into scorching, airless spaces where every breath feels like it takes effort just to keep going. Across canal banks and the remains of the zone, people wait for water trucks that can't meet the need. Many sit quietly in the little shade they can find, fighting dizziness and dehydration as the day grows hotter. The desert doesn't give second chances, and those living outside feel that truth every hour. Below the surface of the heat lies another crisis: fentanyl's tightening grip. Early 2025 saw over 160 pounds seized in the region, reflecting how deeply it has settled into Phoenix's vulnerable communities. It doesn't just weaken the body, it drains the willpower people need to rebuild. Yet even in these harsh corners, small groups form to look after one another, sharing what little they have to keep hope alive. Meanwhile, housing grows more out of reach. With median rents near $1 to $600, many who were barely staying afloat were pushed into the streets. Shelters do what they can, but far too few beds exist, leaving people outside in heat that can quickly become dangerous. Phoenix reveals a difficult truth: a city's growth means nothing if its most vulnerable are left behind. Their stories matter, and they deserve to be seen. If you want to follow more raw, real stories from these unseen corners of America, make sure to subscribe to US Homeless Stories so you never miss what's really happening beyond the headlines. Houston, Texas. Houston's homeless crisis unfolds beneath the shine of a booming city, where thousands struggle in places most people never notice. Under highways, along bayous, and inside hidden wooded pockets, people piece together fragile shelters from tarps, tents, and whatever they can find. The heat here is unforgiving. When temperatures push toward 95 degrees, the air turns heavy, shade disappears fast, and simply staying hydrated becomes a daily battle. Cooling centers help, but many unhoused individuals can't reach them, leaving countless people to endure the sun with warm water and makeshift shade that barely protects them. Fentanyl deepens the hardship. Its toll shows in slowed movements, worn expressions, and the growing tension surrounding encampments. Many turn to it not out of choice, but out of desperation, seeking relief from trauma, untreated mental illness, and the grinding stress of surviving without a stable home. Rising incidents near camps reflect not criminal intent, but the weight of people pushed past their limits. Economic pressures add another layer of struggle. With median rents around $500 and shelter beds nearly full, thousands are left without options. Houston's housing first model has helped many over the years, but demand now grows faster than available resources. For those waiting, the path forward feels painfully uncertain. Yet moments of hope still surface: outreach teams bringing cold water, mobile clinics offering care, and local groups sharing meals with patience and dignity. These small acts don't solve the crisis, but they remind people they're not invisible. Houston's story shows that a city's true strength is measured by how it supports those who've fallen hardest. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe to US Homeless Stories to follow more real lives across America. Downtown Seattle, Washington. Seattle's downtown streets around Occidental Park and Pioneer Square carry a human heaviness that numbers can't capture. A 33% drop in tents may look like progress, but anyone walking these blocks can feel that the crisis hasn't disappeared, only moved, only reshaped, only pushed into different corners of the city. Rain becomes an enemy here. It soaks through blankets, jackets, and makeshift shelters within minutes, leaving people shivering beneath bus stops and awnings that offer only temporary relief. Shelters fill fast, and many avoid them to stay with their belongings, their partners, or simply because crowded rooms feel more frightening than the cold outside. Fentanyl's presence deepens the struggle. Along 3rd Avenue, outreach teams see people slipping into slow, fragile states, while pedestrians rush past with averted eyes. Emergency crews revive the same individuals repeatedly, not because they don't want help, but because the help they need is bigger than what the system can currently offer. Housing remains out of reach, with low vacancy rates and rising rents blocking even the first step towards stability. Tiny home villages provide hope, but cover only a fraction of demand. Meanwhile, businesses worry about safety, activists demand compassion, and the city is caught between enforcement and humanity. Seattle's crisis isn't just about homelessness, it's a reflection of a city searching for answers, trying to reconcile its wealth and innovation with the deep suffering unfolding in the rain. The Bowery, New York City, New York. The Bowery has always been a place of sharp contrasts, but today those contrasts feel almost overwhelming. Luxury hotels glow with warm lights, while just steps away, people huddle beneath thin blankets on freezing sidewalks. Once a proud working-class corridor, the Bowery now reveals a raw, quieter struggle, one shaped by lost jobs, rising rents, and systems that simply couldn't catch those who fell. Across New York, thousands live unsheltered, and many end up on the Bowery because there is nowhere else left to go. Winter makes everything harsher. Temperatures drop into the 20s, the wind cuts through layers of clothing, and concrete becomes brutally cold. People wrap themselves in cardboard, coats found in donation bins, or whatever scraps offer a little warmth. It's a nightly battle the city rarely sees, but one that happens in plain sight. Fentanyl deepens this darkness. Outreach teams report more overdoses in Lower Manhattan, especially around the Bowery's alleys and subway entrances. It doesn't erupt loudly, it creeps in silently. People turn to it when shelters are full, when treatment is out of reach, or when loneliness becomes too heavy. Emergency crews respond again and again, but without affordable housing or consistent mental health care, many fall right back into the same dangerous patterns. Still, the Bowery is not without humanity. Volunteers hand out meals. Churches open their doors. Outreach workers offer compassion where the system has fallen short. These small acts create pockets of hope in a place weighed down by hardship. If this story touched you, please subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories. Your support helps these voices be heard and brings more attention to the people fighting for dignity in the shadows of America's biggest cities. Albuquerque's crisis unfolds quietly across parks, riverbeds, and overpasses, where tents sit like the last thin line between survival and complete uncertainty. Behind the glowing casinos and luxury hotels, thousands of people try to survive in places most tourists will never see: storm tunnels, vacant lots, and narrow stretches beneath busy overpasses. Many once had steady jobs. Some came chasing a better life. Others simply had nowhere left to go. Now they face each day with the weight of uncertainty pressing on their shoulders. The summer heat is relentless, often climbing above 110 degrees and turning concrete into burning metal. Water becomes precious. Shade becomes safety. Nights aren't much easier. People sleep lightly, always alert for danger, always prepared to move if another sweep pushes them away. Survival here isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, exhausting, and constant. Fentanyl casts a long shadow across this hidden part of Las Vegas. It's cheap, dangerously powerful, and painfully easy to find. Many turn to it not out of desire, but out of desperation, to forget the fear, the heat, the hunger, even for a moment. Overdoses have become a tragic routine, and first responders return to the same faces again and again. Nearby businesses feel the strain, yet don't know how to stop the suffering unfolding steps from their doors. Still, small sparks of hope appear. Outreach teams crawl into tunnels with water and compassion. Mobile clinics offer medical care and dignity. A simple conversation can remind someone they still matter. If you walked through the hidden side of Las Vegas, how would it change the way you see the city? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to US Homeless Stories to follow the real stories America tries to ignore. Miami, Florida. Miami may shine under the sun, but beneath the glowing skyline and pastel nightlife is a struggle too easy to ignore. Under the long concrete shadows of downtown bridges, along cracked sidewalks near transit hubs, and beneath highway ramps, people fight every day just to stay alive. These aren't forgotten places. They're places most choose not to see. For the unhoused here, every sunrise is a reminder that survival is a full-time job. The heat alone can break a person. Miami's temperatures often push past 90 degrees off, turning these makeshift shelters into sweltering traps, where even breathing feels heavy. People try to rest on warm pavement, belongings stuffed into torn bags, hoping for a breeze that rarely comes. Dehydration sets in fast. The smell of stale humidity, trash, and unwashed clothes lingers in the air, showing how dignity erodes when there's no place to clean up or sit safely. Fentanyl deepens the darkness. It slips into these communities quietly, cheap, available, and unforgiving. You see people fighting battles their bodies can't sustain, slumped against pillars, or curled along overpasses, drifting in and out of awareness. These are human beings wrestling with trauma and a lack of support, not characters from a distant tale. When help is scarce, the cycle becomes a trap, with no clear way out. Shelters try to offer relief, but beds are limited and fill quickly. Sweeps displace people rather than protect them, scattering belongings and pushing encampments from one block to another. Meanwhile, rents near $2,800 a month crush any hope of stability. Miami grows taller and richer, but the people in its shadows grow more invisible. That's why US Homeless Stories exists, to make sure these lives aren't erased. Every person here once had dreams, plans, and someone who cared. These stories matter, and real change begins when we choose to see them. If you believe these voices deserve to be heard, hit subscribe to US Homeless Stories and stay connected to the truth unfolding across America's streets. Conclusion? A final message of hope and action. Homelessness in America is far more than a statistic. It is a human tragedy unfolding in plain sight, in alleyways, beneath overpasses, and along sidewalks where people walk past without truly seeing. Behind every tent, tarp, and worn-out sleeping bag is a story marked by heartbreak, lost stability, and a fight to preserve dignity. More than 650,000 people were without stable shelter on a single night in 2023, and the numbers continue climbing as housing costs rise and support systems fall behind. These aren't nameless figures. They are parents who worked steady jobs until crisis struck, teenagers escaping unsafe homes, veterans battling memories they can't outrun, and seniors priced out of the communities they helped build. Each day brings emotional battles most of us never imagine. Nights spent trying to sleep while cold air cuts through thin blankets. Mornings waking hungry, uncertain if your belongings will still be there. Hours spent searching for restrooms, food, or a safe corner to sit. The exhaustion becomes bone deep. The loneliness becomes constant. The streets turn into survival zones, especially at night when danger feels closer and the world feels colder. Fentanyl makes these struggles even harsher. People don't seek it for chaos. They seek relief from pain no one else sees. Moments where trauma loosens its grip. But the cost is heavy, pulling people further from stability until escape feels impossible. In these encampments, you see the weight of this crisis in slow movements and tired faces. Yet even in darkness, sparks of humanity survive. Someone sharing water, offering blankets, or watching a neighbor's belongings. These moments prove hope can still exist where everything else collapses. Real solutions require more than sympathy. They demand long-term housing, mental health care, addiction treatment, and a willingness from communities to confront the truth. Above all, they require seeing unhoused individuals not as problems, but as human beings deserving safety and a chance to begin again. What do you think is the most urgent step we should take to help people living on the streets? Are our cities doing enough, or are we failing those who need us most? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if these stories move you, subscribe so you don't miss out on the most honest stories from US homeless stories.